welcome to this week's cooking vlog. It's actually the following week and I'm editing this right now, and I realized I never opened the vlog. I may have, but I certainly can't find it in the footage. So we'll just pop this in there. So hello, welcome to this week's cooking vlog. Now, you guys have given me some really great suggestions for a name for this series. So I'm gonna run them by you and you guys can vote and tell me which one you like the best. And that's what we'll call it. Now, there is an option, hair in my face. There is an option of splitting it in two. Maybe one will be cooking and then the other one will be desserts. So maybe Fridays I can upload desserts and Saturdays I can upload cooking. And I'm not gonna say your name. You'll know if it's your suggestion. And the winner, I'll likely send you a t-shirt. It's creating flavor with favor, flavoring it with favor. That's a good one. Finding flavor with favor. And favors keto flavor Fridays. So they're all really great suggestions. So you guys vote and tell me which one you like. Do you want me to do, so you're gonna have to give me two responses here. So one, do you want two videos, one for desserts and one for just regular food, you know, entrees, lunches, breakfast, that kind of thing. There won't always be a dessert, so there won't always be a separate video, but do you want two separate videos if I do? Or do you want them all in one and then pick one of those names and let me know. So whichever one gets the most votes, that's the one we'll go to. T-shirt is from my friend who has a shop, and the proceeds, some of the proceeds go towards an animal shelter. So of course I love that. So the shirt is "Love is a Fur-Legged Word." And I love that shirt, I love it. And as I mentioned in our channel name, that just is a shirt that's perfect for our channel. So it's one that I would, you know, I would like for you to get as a representation of our channel. So there you go. All right, so whichever one gets the most votes, I'll send you a t-shirt. All right, thank you so much and enjoy the vlog. Kind of an odd week. I really haven't been cooking. We've had lots of leftovers. So anything basic that I've fixed, we've eaten as dinner. So the Philly cheesesteaks we had for dinner Monday, and then I had it again Tuesday, and then last night was tacos, so basically very easy. You've seen us make them 100 times, and actually I had my brisket. Rob and Chandler had tacos, and I did not make any mix for it, any seasoning for it, and I'm trying to use up the packets that we have, so I couldn't eat it anyway because it had wheat in it. So the regular tacos I didn't eat, I had my brisket, which I'm running low on actually, so I'm gonna need to get another brisket and make some more. I had a roast in there, and I made the roast, and I made it with the keto Mexican soup. What's it called? Hold on. Mexican beef soup out of this cookbook. And it really didn't have a lot of flavor to it. So, and Robbie was coming over, so he took it home with him, and he uses it the same way I use my brisket. I didn't see any point in really showing you that because basically it was just braising a piece of meat. That's really all it was. I'm not using it here or cooking it here, so I just thought, you know. Anyway, okay, so it's dinner time. I am cooking the chicken with mushroom cream sauce in the Keto Instant Pot cookbook on page 240. So I'm gonna put everything in the Instant Pot, and then I will show you, I will show you before I turn it on. Again, because it is a recipe in a cookbook, I actually cannot share the recipe with you. I can't give you measurements and that kind of thing, but I will leave the cookbook linked below. I've been cooking out of it a couple of weeks. It seems to be a pretty good book. And I will show you what it's going to look like when it's all through. There we go. So it looks really good. So there it is. We're just going to put the lid on it, seal it, and pressure cook it or cook it for a little bit. And then I'll show you when it's all through. Doesn't look real appetizing now, but you know, it will. So for the side tonight, it just finished, the timer just turned off on the Instant Pot. So now it's depressurizing on its own, however that works. I think you're just supposed to let it go. So I made easy cauli mash. I made a half portion. I don't even think this is a half portion. The light is washing it out. Now you can see it. So I am just letting this rest for a little while. That's the extra butter you put on it. It's easy cauli mash. Under side dishes, page 210 in Southern Keto by Natasha Newton. So I made that. I wanted just something simple I could put the chicken over and kind of mix the gravy with, so I didn't want it to have too much flavor. So, you know, riced cauliflower, completely plain, would have been just fine. But we're gonna have this. So the meal tonight has 275 calories and 4 net carbs, so 5 carbs and 1 gram of fiber. And the mashed cauliflower has 151 calories, 9.5 carbs, 4.6 grams of fiber, so roughly 5 grams of carbs. So this is gonna be 9 carbs. I skipped lunch today, so it's fine. I didn't mean to skip lunch. I was just busy working and time got away from me. I didn't even have a snack, and actually I am quite hungry right now. So it's 5 o'clock, and hopefully this is done very, very soon. So it's all done. I'm gonna pull the chicken out. Wow, it's very loose, liquidy. Hot. It's awfully liquidy. It doesn't look that liquidy, but we still have a couple of things to add. I'm sorry, the recipe doesn't look that liquidy, but like I said, we still have a couple of things to add. I did try the mashed cauliflower. Oh, it's so tasty. I'll be back when the recipe's all done. So what I did was I removed the oven, sorry. I removed the chicken and I put it on saute for a little bit, let it come to a bubble and kind of boil down, you know, steam out, boil out some of the extra liquid. And then I went ahead and added a couple more tablespoons of heavy whipping cream, just to kind of thicken it up a little bit, give it a little more, what is the word? I don't know, just make it a little more creamy of a sauce. I think next time I will reduce the liquid, the chicken stock. It didn't call for that much, so I don't know why mine was so, you know, watery, but it was. So here we go. But I've added the finishing stuff and it looks to be pretty good. All right, so here is my plate, all plated up. These mashed cauliflowers, delicious. I'm very excited to eat this. The chicken is very good. It's a little salty, so next time I'm not gonna add the salt. It called for a teaspoon of salt. That's a lot. So next time I'll probably just do a half because it called for this unsalted butter. So I don't know, it is a little salty, but we'll survive. Good morning. It is Saturday morning. I haven't even addressed the vlog yet this morning, but it's 8:49. I am fixing some pancakes. So these are low carb keto pancakes from the novicechefblog.com. I'll link it below. I've never made these before, but we're gonna give them a try. I have another recipe, but it's lots of steps and not interested in that. So I'm gonna try this one. We'll see how well it does. It is a blender recipe, so and it's online, so I can actually share it with you, which is great. So I'm gonna throw everything in the blender, whip it all up, and then we'll make some pancakes and see how they taste. Okay, so here are the pancakes. We'll try them and of course let you know. I am going to put a little bit of the Walden Farms sugar-free syrup on there. A 1/4 cup is a serving of that stuff, but when I say that stuff is sweet, it really is. So I will use a tablespoon and I will dip my pancakes in there. These smell amazing. They just smell amazing. So, okay, so I used a cast iron skillet. Maybe you would prefer a non-stick skillet. I actually don't have one that big enough to make 3 pancakes at a time. So I used my non-stick skillet, which is what I used to make my tortillas, and just use butter, and it seemed to do just fine. However, it will brown them much faster, and Rob really does not like a brown pancake. So I may pick up a non-stick pan, or maybe just cook his separately in a non-stick pan. So we'll see. I think I'm really gonna like these. Okay, here we go. Here's what it looks like. I made a little tiny one because I had a tiny little bit of extra batter. There's the Walden's syrup. Terrific. Yep. That's really, really good. It really does taste like a traditional pancake. So I'm really good with that. We'll see what Rob's opinion is. He doesn't use syrup, he only uses butter.
Very good.
He likes them. That works. Now I'll just have to see if Chandler likes them. I really can't express enough how sweet the Walden's Farm syrup is. Like, even dipping them, it is so incredibly sweet. Be really careful with that stuff. I love sugar. I have an extremely strong sweet tooth. I think it's actually borderline just too much for me. So I may just do a little butter with these and a little powdered sugar. But honestly, I don't even know that you need that. These are really, really good. Okay, so it's dinner time. It's 5 o'clock, 5:13. So I'm gonna make fajitas for dinner tonight. You're gonna have to excuse my dry skin, it happens. I'm making fajitas tonight. I'm cooking them on the grill. The grill is out there preheating right now. Flank steak, not skirt steak. I'm not a fan of skirt steak. It is much less expensive. And I do have some in the freezer for the family, but I'm eating fajitas tonight, so I am not a fan of skirt steak. So we're gonna have flank steak. And what I'm gonna put on this is my usual Trader Joe's seasoning, salt and pepper, and garlic. All of that will go on there, and I will cook it in olive oil the way I do everything else. The Mexican flavor or the Tex-Mex flavor can come in with salsas, with the queso, with guacamole, with all of the toppings, which also can be sour cream. So I do have the queso in there. It's the white queso that I picked up from Costco, so I'll heat a little bit of that up for the family and for me. And I will basically just cook these on the grill until they're done. We'll slice them thin, and I will saute some onions for Rob on my cast iron pan over here so that he has some onions for dinner with his fajita. So I'll kind of show you as we go along, and you can kind of take a peek, but it's fajitas, so it's very, very simple, very simple. I do have a fajita pan tray. It's cast iron. You get it super hot in the oven, so if you're serving people, you can get it really, really hot. Oh, excuse me. Something itchy in my throat. In your oven or on your grill. You can do it on your grill or you can do it on your oven. And be mindful of the handle, it's super duper hot. And then when you've cooked your fajitas, you make sure there's oil on the cast iron, and you can throw your cooked fajitas on there. That's where you get that sizzle noise. And you put your grilled onions down first, and then you put your fajitas on top, your sliced meat on top, and you bring it out to the table. That way it helps keep them hot. But you do need to make sure you have oil on there, otherwise they will actually stick. So, okay, I'll show you. Okay, this is just some avocado oil. Flip it over, get a little oil on both sides. Gotta shake it up a little bit. You can certainly use chili powder. You can use whatever seasonings you prefer. There's lots of fajita recipes, you know, seasoning mixes out on the market. We just, I mean, on the internet, I don't know, on the market, we just happen to really prefer simple. The Pioneer Woman's marinated flank steak, that is delicious. That is delicious. So if you ever want to try that, man, that is one that'll make your fajitas taste amazing. But for you know, fajitas, you don't really want those flavors. Although my family does love them that way. So, all right. Is there pepper in here? I think I need to put some, no, there's no pepper. Put a little black pepper in here. There we go, that's it. Now don't be like me. These should be room temperature, and they're not. So the meat just cooks better. It doesn't seize up as much when it's at room temperature versus being cold. Cold, but they're not room temperature. I would really prefer them to be much warmer than they are. Ooh, it's blue. It's very overcast and cloudy outside. So there they are, cooking away. This is very important for me. We have cooked things on here that contained gluten, and so I used it to prevent some gluten transfer. I'm sure it's all burned off by now, but I don't take any chances. Also, it goes a long way to keeping the grill clean, and it's copper, so it conducts heat nicely, you know, but it also still allows, grill marks. So there you go. That is far from done. So it's going to cook here for quite some time, and I leave the lid closed to help it cook a little faster. It's at 400, almost 400. When the lid closes, it bounces down to about 500. You know, it's vented on the sides, so it's fine. That is our pizza oven. So that's where we keep our pizza stone, and our oven is in there. I clean it out before we use it, but we'll start using that again this summer. So it's okay. It's by Pacific Living. It's not the best. We had to modify the flue up there. It's all right. It does an okay job. I really wanted a dome pizza oven. We both did, but have you priced those lately? It wasn't going to happen. All right, I'll check in with you in a minute. I'm going to cook the onions here in just a second. That's really all I have left to cook. I mean, you can heat up your tortillas, and I make my low-carb or keto tortillas from nomnom.com, and I will have 2 of those with dinner. And I'll have some guacamole, some sour cream, and some chili con queso, and yeah, that's what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. Sometimes I'll make a bowl, so I'll take the riced cauliflower and put the cheese on it and make a bowl out of it. The meat on top, little sour cream. I don't usually put the guacamole in there. I'll take a bite of the guacamole and then a bite of it and take that bite with the meat on top. That's really, really good. Really, really good, but honestly, from that, I miss the beans. So when I use taco meat, that's really good, but when I use fajita meat, I miss the beans. So I'll likely just make tacos. And if I want, I'll even put some riced cauliflower in it. Why not? Tastes delicious. That's as done as my husband likes his onions. You can keep going with them. You could take them to a nice deep sugary brown, whatever you want. You do you. All right, so I flipped them. I know you're going, they're burnt. No, they're not. They're fajitas. That's the way they are. And it's a nice char. So, yeah, that's looking pretty good. You just have to make sure your inside is cooked. Now, a lot of people like them nice and rare. We do not. We actually prefer our fajitas just a little pink. like them cooked. The way we are is the way we like them. Now my steak, on the other hand, it better be a little pink in the middle. A little more pink than brown. I like it a little rare. Medium, I think medium. You don't care. Whew. Okay, so they're done. So the most important thing I can tell you is let your meat rest. Let it rest, let it rest. Cover it with some foil and let it sit there and rest for, I don't know, whoops, 10 minutes. Because what's gonna happen, I'm sorry, hang on. Because the first time you cut that meat, all the juices are gonna run out and it's gonna be dry. So let it rest, let it redistribute its juices throughout it, and chill for a minute to get over that heat that it's just been under, and let it chill. I'd say 7 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes. And then I'll start cutting it up. I'm only gonna cut one because one is enough for all of us. One is plenty for all of us, and then the other one will be for leftovers. And what I'll do is I'll cut it cold and I'll pan fry it for Rob and me too, and we'll have that. So, you see the lines? That's the grain of the meat. Always cut against the grain. So, this may be a little more rare than we like, but we'll see. And just cut against the grain, and you want to cut nice thin, oh, that looks delicious. Thin pieces. This always brings the dogs to my feet. Go, there's the sizzle. And you pick it up with an oven mitt and it goes on here and it goes straight to your kitchen table or wherever you serve. Okay, there it is. That's meat. There's chili con queso under there. It was a little lettuce on top. And there is a guacamole cup that, you know, I get those at Costco. I decided to forego the sour cream tonight, and I'm going to put a smattering of diced pickled jalapenos all over the top of this. Yummy. Sunday morning, I am going to be cooking some breakfast this morning. This was not on the agenda for this week, but it sounds really good. Millie. I'm going to, so, I wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that I've been cooking a lot from my recipe books that are over there, and we are going to do a little more of that today. But next week, I'm gonna try and focus a little bit more on cooking from websites, recipes I can actually share with you that don't require you to go and buy a cookbook or anything like that. So we're gonna kind of dip into that a little bit more next week. So today I'm gonna be making the gluten-free and keto quiche Lorraine from nomnom.com and the gluten-free low carb and keto pie crust, again, nomnom.com. And then later on today, I'm hoping I can get this in a hot dog casserole from Keto Instant Pot. So those are coming up today. I'm excited about this quiche Lorraine. It does call for Gruyere cheese, which I do not have. I have Swiss cheese, very similar cheeses, so it should be fine. And so we're gonna get busy. I'm gonna start with this pie crust, and it looks fairly simple, as are all of their recipes. Oh, I did order a Ninja, a little mini Ninja to help, just smaller. It'll be great when I'm making nomnom.com keto tortillas, pancake mixes, chopping up something. It'll be great, and it's small. I think it's little bitty. Anyway, it was 20 bucks and it was fine. Very similar to the one I had before that I killed. So, and it's green, which is weird. Whatever. And then we're gonna get busy on this. Okay, so let's get cooking. Nice and crumbly dough, that's what you want. Little bits of butter all mixed in there. Butter and cream cheese in this case. There we go, that's good. You don't want it to form a ball just before it forms into a ball. Then we're gonna turn it out onto some parchment. Okay, you guys know I prefer to use my Silpat. This is not Silpat, it's from Costco. I'm gonna order a couple more off of Amazon, but we're gonna turn out the dough, we're gonna roll it out. The dough needs to be refrigerated or frozen, refrigerated to really make it much easier to work. But I don't really have time for that today. So we're gonna get it in the pan, then we're gonna put it in the pan in the freezer for a little while I'm making the filling. And it also needs to be par baked with pie weights, which I don't have either, and I don't have any beans or rice or anything. So we're gonna see how this works today. We're gonna dock it, you know, put holes in it. Maybe that'll help, we'll see. So this is a really thick crust here. And it's certainly big enough now, but what I think I'm gonna do is roll it out a little bit thinner. Leftovers you can keep in the fridge for up to 7 days, excuse me, 3 days, up to 3 days. Maybe it says you can make crackers with this, you can make empanadas, oh yummy. But you know, there's other things you can bake with this. So we're gonna see how it comes out in this quiche, and maybe we can like throw together a pot pie, or I don't know, maybe we can take some of my brisket and wrap it in some cheese and something else and maybe make a little hand pie with it. I don't know, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Let's roll it a little bit more, get it a little thinner. I don't like a real thick crust on my quiche, so let's see, let's see. Oh, look what I just did to my tripod. This is why it says to use parchment. So we're gonna do it a little funny here, but we'll get it, we'll make it work. And it's not quite cold enough, but we're gonna make this work. Hang on, bear with me, we'll get it. You won't have as much trouble with me as me if you refrigerate your crust before you attempt to do this. So just keep that in mind. I am rushing here, and really you should refrigerate. So we are gonna put it in the refrigerator for just a few minutes before we bake it. So there we go. We are good to go. You can see we're completely covered here. Now we're going to, I'm gonna refrigerate this for just a few minutes, and actually I'm gonna put it in the freezer for just a few minutes, and then we're going to par bake it. This is my leftover, and we're gonna make a ham pie or something with that later on. We'll figure that out in a minute. And you may not see that till next week. I don't know, we'll see, but we're gonna kind of play with this crust a little bit. I'm really finding the doughs from nomnom.com to be really, really versatile, really good doughs. All right, there's the crust par baking right there. There's the bacon, the cheese, and the egg mixture. Now, the recipe called for 315 milliliters of sour cream. That seems awfully hot. I mean, that was a whole container. So I cut it in half because that just really seemed excessive. That would make it a sour cream pie, a sour cream quiche. Maybe that's the case, maybe it isn't. I realize you shouldn't alter recipes the first time you make them, but the reality is I didn't want to waste a whole recipe, because if it was just sour. Anyway, so I did 5 eggs, half the sour cream mixture. Here's my cheese and my bacon. I don't use onions when I cook. I don't like cooked onions, and it's me and Chandler that will eat this. Rob doesn't eat eggs. So I put a little onion powder in with the eggs. There you go. I broke my crust. Ugh, you have to transfer it from the oven to a baking dish, and I pushed it and released it and broke the crust. So we're gonna have a little bit of a mess, but we're gonna make it work. All right, if you look, you can see I broke it right here. I popped it right out. Now it's not the same. Hopefully it'll work. All right, so you're supposed to sprinkle with bacon, onion, and cheese, and then pour in the crust. I mean the custard, if you will. And here's the rest. That's just a lot of cheese.
I think that's the best price on the ship is $4.50 a beer.
And then here's the rest of the bacon.
That's not a bad thing. I wonder if I should show you guys how to use this. Aaron, what do you think? Should we give a left and get the beer from the automated system? All right, let's do this.
So you see we have a little leakage right here. So let's get this bacon real quick. Okay, so I just pulled it out of the oven. The knife inserted came out clean. You want the center a little jiggly still. I may have let it set, but I don't really I like it pretty much set. So here it is. You can see the overflow from my little hole that I had, but I think it's gonna be okay. Yeah, I know the T is crooked. I know. There we go. You can see we had some overflow here, but hopefully, just right around here, hopefully we're fine. It's pulled away from the side, so we shouldn't have any sticking issues. It said to let it rest for 10 minutes, and then we'll give it a try. It makes, is it 8 servings? 8 servings. So we'll cut it up and we'll give it a try. I'm really excited to try this. I actually need to take those down, thoroughly clean them. You know, they've been dusted and stuff, but really clean them, replace the batteries, and rehang them where they're nice and even. Maybe we'll do that today.
Juliana is an amazing bartender, and if you end up having her on the ship, treat her really nice because she's super sweet.
She is.
This is delicious. I halved the sour cream it called for. Used an extra egg, no onions, added onion powder, just a quarter of a teaspoon. And everything else was the same. Amazing. This is really, really good. Okay, I just showed you a quick little picture or video of the quiche Lorraine from nomnom.com that I made this morning. Yes, it is delicious. The crust is amazing. I'm gonna be using this crust so often. I'm definitely gonna make a ham pie with it or something with a little bit of leftover that I had. It's really, really good. And one piece of this and I'm very full. I'm so happy. Next time, you wanna come say good morning? Next time, less cheese. That's just the key here. But I'm one that doesn't like a lot of cheese.
Something.
She can't. He doesn't agree.
So, no such thing as too much cheese.
So, anyway, it's really, really good. Give it a try. All right, so I just packed it away in between sheets of parchment paper, the quiche, so that I can have it for the rest of the week. This would be a great breakfast or lunch or brunch or anything like that. Let it completely cool before you put it in something like this. Mine is not completely cooled, so I'm gonna sit it on the counter like, you know, for a little while. Let it completely cool to room temperature and then I'll put it in the fridge. Otherwise you get condensation and then your crust will get really soft. You don't want that. So, here we go. Okay, it's 4 o'clock. I'm gonna cook the chicken soup now. This is on page 324 of Keto Living Day by Day. This is the, I'm sorry, broccoli cheddar ranch chicken soup. I'm browning the chicken right now. I've got some bacon cooking over here. I have some bacon cooking in the oven as well. There you go. I've got it over there because that wouldn't fit in my pan in the oven. So, all right. I'll show you when it's all through, and I'm also going to be making the hot dog casserole in the Keto Instant Pot cookbook. I'm going to be making those, and then in here, this calls for diced onions. I do not like cooked onions, and I especially don't like it in my soup, so I left them large and just cut up the right amount in large pieces. That way when it comes time to serve the soup, when they're in there, I just simply pull the onion right out. So, but you need the flavor. Okay, see you in a minute.
Make one that much. I'll check in once in a while, and I'll get you guys in a bit.
crazy thick soup, like really super thick. Lots of cheese, lots of cheese, cream. So it has cream cheese, cheddar cheese, and heavy cream in it. That's like a lot. So this is for lunches this week. So now at breakfast and lunch. That is really delicious. This giant pot of soup is only 6 servings. That's a lot. So 530 calories, 34.5 grams of fat, 48.2 grams of protein, 5.8 carbs, and 1.3 grams of fiber. So super. Cooking bacon, hold on. Took like 15 minutes or so to make it. Super fast, super easy, highly recommend. It is the broccoli cheddar ranch. Mine got a little dark because I let the butter brown a little bit. But if you look, there you go. That's what it looks like in there. It's pretty similar. I might have a little more broth than she has. In the Keto Living Day by Day by Christy H. Sullivan, PhD. There you go. Okay, so, and I used the ranch seasoning, called for that in here. That's in this book also. Up next is the Keto Instant Pot. We're going to be making the chili cheese dog casserole on page 180. Keto Instant Pot. And looks pretty good, looks pretty simple. We'll take one of those buns I make with the, you know, the buns I keep making over and over with the garlic knot recipe, just no garlic on it. I will take one of those and I will cut it in half and I will pour some of this over it. And Rob's I'll probably put like over a toasted hot dog bun, or maybe even one of the regular buns. I don't know if we have any hot dog buns right now, so I'll probably do one of those for Rob as well. And same for Chandler, so this should be really good with a little mustard on top. Oh, but it's gonna be, or sour cream. Yeah, looks really, really good. Okay, so I'll show you that in a minute. Again, I can only show you like bits and pieces because it's in a cookbook. So we're gonna try next week, like I said, we'll do a little more cooking from online recipes. So for those of you who don't have the cookbooks or don't want to invest in them or just starting out and just can't yet, so we'll do that. There we go. I have you at a little bit of a different angle this time because I have dishes in my sink because I've been cooking all day. All right, where'd I put it? Here it is. So this is getting ready to go on to, let me cancel. This is the beginning of the chili cheese dog casserole. Just gonna put the lid on and cook it. And then we finish with shredded cheese and the hot dogs and we'll be done. So I'll show you when it's all through. It just, at this point, this is just chili. You could eat it just like this. I would imagine it's delicious. I did use half the sugar the recipe calls for, and no onions. I used onion powder because you know how I feel about onions in my food. Only raw onions and not in, and then I did not use the diced tomatoes because Rob does not like tomatoes. There we go. So let me set this to sealing and then, anyway, those are the adjustments I made to this. So I'm just gonna grate some cheese and cut up the hot dogs and I'll show you when it's all done. Okay, it smells amazing. There it is. So that's one of those little, our little bread things we make. With the dough, I can't think of what it's called right now. Just a piece of like bread we baked with it. We just made it into rectangles so you could use it as a bun or whatever you want.
The fathead dough? Yeah,
it's the fathead dough, but it's made, the fathead dough I make from the garlic knots. And then there's the hot dogs, and then there's the chili part. I put a little cheese. Oh, this promises to be really tasty. I'm gonna add a little sour cream because that's what I like. And I may actually add a few pickled jalapenos because it is me. This is supposed to be, where's the serving size? 6 servings. 6 very hearty servings. I mean, if I ate 1/6 of this, I wouldn't need to eat for like 3 days. So, I mean, it's 8 hot dogs. If you divide 8 hot dogs by 6, I mean, that's still a lot. A lot of hot dog per person. I mean, that's a lot. Okay, don't ask me to math right now. I'm tired and I'm hungry. Okay, so that's it. We will try this and I will let you know what it tastes like, if it's good and all of that, and then we're gonna close out the vlog. Whew. So I got the cooking vlog cooking done, and I have lots of leftovers for this week. So the chili cheese dog casserole needed 1 pound of hamburger meat, but mine was frozen in 2 pounds. So I fried up the other half and made tacos, and I'm gonna put this in the freezer. This will be nice for a day Rob wants some lunch, or maybe Chandler, we're out of town, Chandler wants some tacos. He can certainly make his own, but I mean, they're there, so why not? Here is the soup I made. It is enough for the whole week. So I'll probably get 4 days out of it, because you know, by that 5th day, you really shouldn't eat the chicken that's been sitting in your fridge. I'm weird about that. And then this is the leftover hot dog casserole. That'll certainly be enough for Rob to have for lunches, Chandler to have for lunches, and this week, and they will. So I need to make some more bread tomorrow. So there you go. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching this week's cooking vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found some things you like. And like I said, next week we'll cook a little more from online recipes. That way you've got a recipe available to you, so you don't have to go buy a cookbook or anything. We're still gonna use the cookbooks, but I'm gonna try and make it more focused on online. So anyway, all right, well, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.